There was only 13 breakups. Which is not that bad.
Right.
Anyways.
No, Ed. 15, actually.
Okay, you're right. Pardon me. See, I lost count.
Yeah.
Imagine that for a second, Socks, being 59 years old and joking about how many times you broke up with and got back together with your fiance. The first time we see Ed and Liz in episode 14 of Happily Ever After season 8, she just finished packing up her belongings at Ed's house.
Take as much time as you need. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out.
Lizzie's down bad right now. She's been crying a whole lot because her and Ed had a fight in the last episode, and as we saw, he also picked a fight with her mother.
Why are you guys sad? What's the matter?
Think you're ready now?
Socks, bring it in. Let's say a quick prayer for Ed's dogs because they are the only victims of this relationship. I'm sure that they're really shaken up because animals can sense when their humans are having arguments. So as we can see right now in the other room, Liz is trying to calm down after crying those very real tears for the Mucinex man. Meanwhile, Ed is so unfazed. He's trying to calm down his dogs over Liz. Everyone takes priority over this girl.
I am definitely trying to keep my composure with Ed right now. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see him again. So I know I have to say goodbye to him, but I just want to get my stuff out and leave.
Okay, obviously Liz doesn't see it now, but Ed breaking up with her is the best thing that he could have done for her life. Could you imagine spending a lifetime with a snippy little gaslighter like him? Terrible. Unfortunately, Liz has been here many times with Ed. In fact, before entering this entanglement with him, she's had 2 failed marriages. Yes, I use the word entanglement because that's the way it feels. This certainly doesn't seem like a relationship, especially because the past couple episodes, Ed has been pushing Liz away in order to pursue all of his other options that he assumes he has.
I understand why Liz is pissed off at me. Okay, I canceled the wedding. But for her to come in with her mom and just fly off the handle, this is the main reason why I ended our relationship. We spend most of our time fighting.
Small Ed's the kind of guy that never admits when he's wrong, so there's no way he's going to take responsibility for starting the majority of the arguments between him and Liz. However, he does bring up a good point here, which is their relationship serves neither one of them.
That's not a relationship. It's not healthy.
But see, that right there is a huge problem we all have with Ed, is that he acknowledges that their relationship was never going anywhere. Well, that would have been nice to know years ago. You should have communicated that in advance to this girl before she made all these personal sacrifices for the sake of said relationship. The next scene, we see Liz approach Ed to give him back his garage clicker. He says thank you, and then he asks her when she wants to schedule the move-out date, and she reminds him once again that the movers are coming tomorrow, and this is something that she communicated to him in advance.
All right, sorry I blew up at your mom, but she was coming at me.
Doesn't matter, Ed. You need to learn how to talk to women, period. Doesn't matter who comes at you.
Well,
just know.
that's hearsay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
Thank you for your apology. There's no excuse.
Thank you.
Own it. You should have done it.
is.
You don't talk to women that way, period.
Hey, snaps for Liz straightening this little freak out. And I know he didn't just hit us with an Amber Heard attorney line. Really? Haha, that's hearsay, Liz. This little cornball always has to have the last word and constantly speaks over this girl.
Okay, your mom wasn't being a woman. She was being a...
Just
How
stop.
did I embed?
Stop.
Liz,
See,
you're being
this is what we're not.
ridiculous.
Just you owned up to it.
Okay,
Take an
fine.
apology,
Got
but
it.
don't make excuses.
Got it. Fine. I have a request from you.
Yeah, you don't get no requests, Ed.
Wow, Ed is so petty talking about how Liz's mother's not a woman because she called him out for not acting like a man. We have the footage. Ed got caught in 4K escalating that argument last episode to a place it didn't need to go.
I want you to learn from this experience.
You learned from it, Ed.
I want you to learn.
You learned from it.
I want you to learn.
I've already learned.
Have you? I'm worried about your next relationship. I want you to be happy.
My next
And
relationship.
if you don't change, you're never going to be happy.
Let's clap it up for the fake Christian Big Ed, everybody. He has such a fragile ego. Also, to be talking about Liz potentially being with another man already tells us everything we need to know. You never loved this girl. You used her to get on this TLC show and all the spinoffs and milk it for all the clout, and it shows. Because there's no way right after a breakup, anyone that cared about his girl would be talking about her with another guy or the next relationship.
If you don't change.
Says the one who can't talk to a woman.
So I'm giving you advice.
You know, I'm gonna be fine.
I hope so. I do. I'm worried about you. I'm worried that
This is a
you're never
narcissist.
gonna,
Stop projecting.
But you're never going
Ed.
to find happiness
Who?
unless...
Ha ha ha, Ed, we are laughing at you right now. He's so manipulative. Liz is 100% right here. And I wish that this little freak took his own advice because he's been treating women poorly for years. And since Ed has communicated to just about the entire world that he wants to pursue Christian women around his age now, why don't we hit him with a little Christian sass? Matthew 7, for in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you.
Who
You
said we're
learned-
talking about a relationship right now?
But you didn't learn from this experience.
You didn't learn from this
I
experience.
did too, Liz. I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not
I
talking
did.
about a relationship, Ed. I'm trying to say goodbye to you, and you're trying to bring up the next guy that
Well-
comes into my life? Are you kidding me?
Ed goes on to say, Liz, I tried to apologize to you for mouthing off to your mom. And then Liz brings up a very good point, which is, yeah, but you provided excuses for your behavior and what you said, which is on brand because it's so frustrating to argue with this little nerdle. He always provides excuses. When someone offers him constructive criticism, he takes it as a personal attack and lashes out. Liz then walks away from Ed and says, you, Ed, I literally just wanted to say bye. And he said, but you did it. And then Liz is so flustered. She's like, yeah, well, I tried to, but then, she can't even form a sentence. So then she storms off and says, I hate you, Ed. And then Ed says, you're triggered. You're triggered, Liz. Socks, let me know what you think about this bitter old man in the comments below. Liz then walks out to her car, gets in and starts crying, talking about how Ed doesn't listen to anything she says.
I definitely feel like I deserve to be loved without the constant fear of being left behind.
Liz goes on to say to the audience that because of Ed, she doesn't know if she's able to trust love anymore moving forward. Like, it can feel good for 1 minute, but because of all her past failures in the relationship department, she doesn't feel like anything can work out. What Liz says next is such a fair point. She says, why do I have to learn something when I wasn't looking for anything else? Which is so true. She was locked in and gave him her undivided attention. Meanwhile, he had a wandering eye and took every opportunity they had a fight to flirt with other women in the DMs, to hit up his ex Rose. You can tell that Ed hurt Liz real bad because even in the testimonials, which are filmed after the season's over, she's breaking down crying. Liz says, my heart is trying to say goodbye and his is not there. Then we see Ed big time creeping by looking out the window at Liz, probably thinking to himself, I can't wait until she leaves so I can go back to spitting game at all these Asian baddies on these dating websites. He then says to the audience, I love Liz. I'll always love her. She changed my life in many good ways. Yeah, buddy, check your bank account balance. A good sized portion of what's there is thanks to Liz. You're welcome. Wowzers, check out this comment that Liz left on Instagram fresh after the breakup. He bought me a car I refused to drive because it had GPS and he would ground me from it if I made him mad. If I missed my curfew by 5 minutes, I would drive my current paid off 2010 car and he hated that, always calling it trash. It was a controlling factor. If Cameo were to die tomorrow, he would be broke. That's the only way he stayed afloat. My love language is not gifts. This is all lies. And if I didn't accept a gift, he gave it to his daughter. Damn, Tiffany, are you sure you want to be back in your dad's life knowing that you got Liz's leftover gifts?
Number 2.
During that interview we covered in our last video, Big Ed mentioned to Rachel that his daughter was unaware of how old he was exactly. Maybe she would know your age, Ed, if you didn't treat her as second place. In the latest episode, Ed goes on to say that he tried to change Liz's life in a positive way, but she didn't accept it, whatever that means, right? He continues, Liz is a good person, and at the end of the day, it's better to start over than to be in the wrong relationship. Then we see a dramatic shot of Liz and her mom driving away while Ed looks out the window. That's it for the first episode. Fast forward to present day, the story has a happy ending. Yesterday, Liz posted a whole bunch of photos with her new man, Jason, and I gotta say, a couple of them are real cutie pie, sweetie pie. My favorite is the one of them at Dave & Buster's because that is a great place. Games and alcohol, count me in. Unlike Ed, Liz doesn't have to post cringe drunk videos with random people. Liz and Jason are in an actual relationship and don't post that much, which makes me believe that they're actually happy and thriving. She looks so much better with him. It's a night and day difference than the way she looked with Ed.